Salutations, Skoobelever. Do you have a dream of becoming an entrepreneur, but don't know where to start or even what to do? Where can I gather information quickly about what's in my zone of genius? Don't worry, Skoobelevers. I got you covered. Go to tuepodcast.net/AI prompt and check out an amazing set of AI prompts that will give you ideas, information, and articles to help you get across that start line. Once again, go to tuepodcast.net/AI prompt to get you started now. Good luck, Skoobelever. Undiscovered Entrepreneur, episode number 3. Attention, Skoobelevers. Grab your audience by the eyeballs with eye-catching logo animations. Give your brand the visual enhancement it needs to thrive in a digital world. Go to topbizdesigns.com, where excellence meets design. To the Undiscovered Entrepreneur, the podcast where brand new entrepreneurs come to life and could quite possibly be discovered. Join me, DJ Skoob, and the rest of the Skoobelevers as we help these new businesses become a reality. And now, away we go! Hello, Skoobelevers, and welcome to episode number 3. Today we are actually talking to a gentleman who actually was very interesting to me. His name was Jose Luna. Now, Jose Luna runs a business, and he actually has a lot of great points in his interview. A couple of them, when he's really big into mentors and coaches, and you'll actually hear about that as he speaks. He definitely mentions it at least 2 or 3 times, how important it is to have a mentor or a coach kind of help you, push you and point you in the right direction. He's also really big on self-education and to make sure you kind of know what you're getting into and how to keep going the way you're going. You'll also hear about the struggles he had getting started, the different types of struggles he had with COVID and family and things of that nature, and him actually finally getting things to where he can actually keep moving. He talks a little bit about fear. Fear is actually a subject I actually talk about a little bit. So, all right, without further ado, the incomparable Jose Luna. Salutations, Skoobelevers. It's DJ Skoob once again coming with another amazing person that we're talking to about their business. Today we have Jose. Hey, Jose, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going, Jesse? How's it going over there?
Amazing. Thank you so much for joining us. So I have one real kind of serious question to ask you here.
Let's see what it is.
Are you a Skoobelever?
Oh yes, man, Skoobelever for sure.
All right,
we're gonna be listening to your podcast. We're gonna be promoting it. We're gonna be distributing it. Here's the thing, man. People need to know out there that there's people like them. There's people that want that growth, that personal growth, and this is a good way to start. You know, start listening to people that have the same mindset, same mentality as you. So you're doing a great thing, buddy.
Oh boy, I really appreciate that. Yeah. One of my main goals here is I listen to a lot of podcasts, and the one thing I've really noticed is they actually have a lot of people on there that have already taken the journey. They've already got to the end, and and it's great, and you could learn a lot from them. But what about the people that are just getting started? The people, I really feel that we're kind of missing the boat as far as getting those people that are just getting started, that are just taking their adventure. And we can actually learn a lot from each other just by, having that type of camaraderie. So I want to say thank you, Jose, for actually, helping us out in that.
Yeah, no problem, man. I mean, we all need some sort of support, and then some sort of life coach, whether it be someone that you pay to or someone that, a friend, a family, someone that you look up to, someone that you can go ahead and talk to and pretty much learn from them, any little thing that helps, you can learn from somebody. You just got to keep your eyes and ears open. Learning. That's what I always tell people.
Yes, absolutely. Self-education is probably one of my main priorities when I started this. I actually listened to podcasts and books for the last year straight, 8 hours a day while I was at work, just to educate myself and learn how to do this. And this is kind of where it's become so far. So I'm going to ask you,
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you this: what actually made you start your business? What is your business? Tell me a little bit about it.
So here's the thing. I've actually been trying to start business for a while already. Okay. I've been trying to start business for about, I want to say maybe 15 years or so.
Oh my!
But yeah, 15 years. But again, it never really took off. I never really took action for many different things. One of them was fear. Like, oh, what's gonna happen? Like, if I leave my job, what's gonna happen? I gotta do this. I gotta do this. What people don't realize is there's options out there. There's options now. Uh, Maybe you don't have to leave your job. Maybe you start something on the side first. And that's how I always try to do it. Because I have a family and everything that I have to look up to. I have to take care of them, have to provide for them and everything. So here's the thing. What really got me into business just recently was the whole pandemic, the whole COVID-19 stuff. Like, I was stuck at home, working from home, and I see my kids just sitting there playing. They asking me to play with them. They're asking me to go outside with them. They're asking me to do activities. But guess what? I can't do it. Why? Because I'm stuck behind a computer working for someone else. So
Right.
that's what triggered in my brain is like, there's got to be something out there. There's got to be something out there. Again, there's a million ways to make $1,000,000. This is one of the things I've heard in many, many times, and it's so true. It's just, you have to want it. You have to have that persistence, that ambition and everything. Um, this is probably, I would say, the fourth business that I've tried to start. Now, it never went my way for whatever reason. You just got to find something that you strongly believe, something that you enjoy doing, something that you're not going to call, I got to do this. I got to do this. Why? I choose to do this. I choose to do this. Why? Because you believe in it. So that, that, yeah, that's how I got into the whole business, and luckily for me, I got a lot of family members and friends, that support you, and then that's what you need, support. And like I mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but we started a business. I went with a partner, so I partnered up with someone, and that helped me a lot. My partner, he brings a lot to the table. He knows a lot about business. He's already owned businesses in the past. I learned from him, like I was saying earlier, coaches, whether it be friends, family, or someone you pay to, right? You just got to learn from people. That's basically how I got started.
Yeah, family, got to have family close by for the support. One thing that I really like to touch on is fear. Fear is actually probably one of the things that I started because I actually was in the same boat as you. Do I really want to do this? I have a family support, but I actually ran into an acronym, which was fear, false evidence appearing real. A lot of the things that you actually fear are not really something you should fear because they're not real. They're just in your head. They're not really supposed to be there. So and then another thing that you kind of touched and I really liked is the fact that you just start, you get going, you just take that one thing, even if it's just like a half an hour in the morning and a half an hour at night, just that little thing to get that snowball rolling. And then one thing that I always say, and it's kind of my mantra, and it's I actually got it from my 6-year-old son who's now 14. I can, I am, I will, and I'm doing it today. And he said that and he's actually carried that out through his entire life. And it's really made a big impact in my life, especially doing what I'm doing now. So you make a lot of great points, Jose. I really appreciate
Yeah,
that.
it's all about the mindset from what I see. I mean, like I said, I've been lucky enough to have people around me that have helped me grow. My brother has been a big one. I've been working at the company that I work for right now. I've been working there for about 15 years actually. This in June it'll be my 15th year anniversary. My regular 9 to 5. Um, and my brother, he was a supervisor of mine at some point for about 3 years. Now, I've always wanted to grow. Always wanted to learn something new. Never wanted to settle. Wanted something more. I started working as a as a feeder, they call them. Pretty much inventory control. You're picking up metal parts, brackets, plates, tubes, anything you could think of for welding purposes. And, welders make a lot more money than what I was making back then. You're talking about 15 years ago. Then they make a lot more money than what I was making. So I told my brother, I was like, hey, I want to become a welder. And guess what? He didn't let me go. He's like, nope, there's something better out there for you. So again, it's having those people that motivate you and look out for you, and care about you and just got to be giving. So like I said, I've been there 15 years. I try to move from different departments here and there, here and there. Well, it turns out for the last 6-7 years, I've been doing engineering. So just imagine that. I started there as a summer help student. I was still going to school. I was still going to high school, going to work,
Right.
and again, trying to make money, trying to get better, trying to be better than what I was doing. And eventually, I never went to college, but I stayed at work. And then for the past 6-7 years, I've been doing engineering. I've been doing engineering department. So that's very good, like a lot better commodities. You got your office, you got a computer. You're not breaking your back lifting parts. Now you're working smart versus physical and all that stuff.
It's a lot easier to work out this muscle sometimes than the rest of this, right?
Exactly. But don't get me wrong, you also need those physical activities, Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. So I'm going to go on to something else here. Sounds like you've had a lot of influences in your life to help you do what you want to do. Yeah, you talked about your brother and a couple other family members and your partner that you talked about. Is there one particular thing or person that really influences you to keep you moving forward, to keep you, motivated to keep moving forward?
That one thing I would have to say, it would have to be my mother and my religion. I don't want to touch too much into religion because I don't want to, like touch someone else's, different point of views. But I think as long as you believe in something higher power than yourself, then you're in good shape, because obviously there's a whole science behind it, that evolution and so on and so on. But we still got to remember, something must have started somewhere, somehow. The universe is huge. So as long as you believe, whether you're Muslim, Jewish, Catholic, Christian, whatever religion you are, if you believe in something higher supremacy than you, then I think you're in a good shape, because you're going to go and they're going to be one of the pillars in your life that, you believe something strongly about.
That's amazing. That's good. Yeah, that's really important to have that higher power to be able to, push yourself and to have it move you forward. So that's really good. I appreciate that. Let me ask you this, and this one's probably a little bit harder, but I know you have a lot of goals for yourself, especially just finally getting started. But when do you think you've made it? I mean, what's that point where you say, okay, I've made it here. This is where I want to be. I finally did what I wanted to do. What is that? Can you explain that?
Well, yes, of course. So like I mentioned earlier, the reason why I started into business was because I didn't want to get stuck behind a computer working from someone else. The only way I can get away from that would have to be to become an entrepreneur, become your own boss. You can say, work on yourself, pay yourself first, self-love, self-growth. If you grow within, like if you spend time learning, reading, and just growing as a person, you're becoming a better person without you even knowing. So now your purpose in life is going to come clear, that you were brought to this life for perseverance, to grow, give to others, to show others, to teach others, like, to be honest with you, I'm not in the business for the money. I'm in the business for the freedom. I want freedom. I want to be able to wake up and do what I want to do whatever's going to help me and my family. If spending time with family, taking them out to the park, going to the gym, then here's the thing, what people don't realize, going to the gym is hard. But that's, if the way you look at it, if you look at it like, I have the ability to go to the gym. You know how many people don't have the ability to go to the gym? They wish they could go to the gym. It's like the way you think of things. That's what gets me going, And then that's why I'm doing it, for freedom. So whenever I can go ahead and say, you know what, I have my business going, my business is making enough money to pay the bills, doing this, I don't have to report to someone else, and I'm able to do what I want to do, wake up, go outside, meditate, then take a quick bike ride or jog or take the kids to the park or go to the gym or do something, come back, work a little, just basically being able to do what I want to do without having to worry about, I got to pay my bills this month. I got to pay my bills this month. And even then, there's options out there. Like, you could become an Uber driver and you're still going to be making money for yourself. And then again, you're your own boss. So there's a lot of different options out there. I don't know if that answers your question, but to me, I want to say I made it when I have the flexibility to do what I want to do at the time that I want to do it.
That's a great plan. All right. That's actually a lot of great information. It's glad to see that you actually have that goal for yourself, that, so where you've actually come from and where you actually want to be, so you can get to where you want to go. That's really good. So I'm going to ask you a little different question here. Now, if you just happen to come across somebody that wants to do exactly what you're doing right now, the business that you're starting, what advice would you give them? What would you tell them? This is where you want to start.
I would tell them that they need to prepare themselves. Don't just jump in and go. Make sure that whatever you want to get into, it's something that you're going to enjoy doing. Because if it's something that you're not going to enjoy doing, then you're just going to spend time that it's going to benefit you, because you'll learn, and that's up to you. That's up to everybody. If you learn from your mistakes, or some people look at a pitfall like a failure, but in reality, a pitfall is not a failure. A pitfall is an opportunity to learn.
That's right.
My advice to them would probably be, go ahead, start the business, and learn anything you can with that business, so you can go ahead and grow your business. Mm-hmm. Now, there's also potential to learn about different businesses that is not in your marketplace, but you can still learn from it. You can learn whether it be SOP, standard operating procedures, whether it be different ways of promoting, whether it be different way of sourcing, whatever the business that you're doing, you can find different avenues on how to make your business grow by learning other businesses.
Right. You want to take those experiences that you have in the one place and put it into something that you really want to get into, which it sounds like what you did.
Right. And then the other thing is basically feed your brain, anything that's going to help your business grow. And whether it be learning marketing, whether it be learning sales, whether it be learning coaching, whether it be learning technology, like nowadays, a lot of people don't use technology because they're stuck in the old times, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that. The world we're going to is changing. You got Amazon, you have, Uber, you have automatic reality or self-driving cars, and you got crypto, you got all these other stuff. So basically what I'm saying is just educate yourself, learn everything you can before you start going ahead and implementing, or putting money in there, putting money that, who knows, going into debt and starting a business and stuff. Just knowing what you want to do and make sure that that's something you're going to be feeling strongly about.
That's really super important. Well, one thing that at the beginning of that, you touched on something that really kind of means a lot to me, is not jumping straight into it. Do education, educate yourself, learn what you want to do. And that actually goes into something that I always say is, don't skip the montage. Now, I don't know if you know what a montage is or not, but if you ever watched any of the Rocky movies or anything where you have your main person that's going through this huge ordeal of learning and working out and doing things like that before they actually get to the fight, that's what I always think about when I do my self-education. Is I'm not skipping the montage, because if you skip the montage, you're going to really lose out on a lot. So that's something I always kind of think
planning
about.
And preparation. I think that's key. Planning and preparation.
So I'm going to ask you this question. This is kind of one of my favorite questions. So hang in there. Okay. So say that I want to hire you for your services, but I have two other people that I'm looking at that have the exact same services that you do and charge the same amount of money that you do? What would you do to set yourself apart from these others?
So here's the thing. What I would say is that, like I mentioned earlier, me as a business owner, I'm not in it for the money. The money is just gonna be bonus. I'm in it for the freedom. So I'm a big believer of karma. So whatever you give out to the world, that's what you're gonna get in return. For us, we're working our business with the vision to help others become a better version of themselves. Now, I wouldn't know if the other two that you're talking about bring that same attitude or not, but we're gonna bring that attitude 100% every time, whether it be to help you reach your goals, or whether it be to help you change your mentality, change the way you think of things, or whether it be uh, just to keep you going and keep you, motivated. That's what we bring to the table, and that's what we feel strongly about.
Well, yeah, that love of yourself and loving, what you do, and that I would hire you in a second at that point.
Like you said earlier in the podcast, you were saying that um, for the past year you've been listening to a lot of podcasts and learning and stuff like that. Same here. I've been listening to podcasts, and it's just molding your mind and molding the way you think makes a huge difference in what you're going to bring to the table, what you're going to bring to the world or to your loved ones. Believe it or not, it sticks. It rubs off, without even you knowing. If you come and you're like all sad and mad or whatever to a family gathering, they're gonna be like, well, what's going on? You're gonna it's contagious. So if you're enthusiastic, if you're happy, if you're good, like healthy wise, meaning like with your mindset, it's gonna rub off. It's gonna be contagious without you even knowing.
Because I got to tell you, you really kind of touched me. That's pretty. You're very self-aware about how things are for yourself, and that's good. You have a nice authentic self feel, and that's really important to be your authentic self. So that's awesome. So I'm going to ask you another quick question here. I know I've asked you a few questions, but what is the one question you wish I would have asked you?
One question I wish you would have asked me. Let's see. Do you think it's important to go to school?
Okay. Jose, do you think it's really important to go to school?
Here's the thing. Nowadays, it's not. I really don't think it's very important to go to school. Don't get me wrong. There's going to be careers out there. Like if your calling is to be a doctor, you're going to have to go to school. Why? Because, you're dealing with people's lives. Let's say if you want to become a web developer, do you know how many options and resources we have out there to do a web design, that you don't need to go to school for that? You don't need to go $20,000 in depth to learn how to do a web design, or to do coding, or to learn marketing, or to learn even engineering. I mean, I mentioned to you, I've been doing 7 years engineering, and I don't have an engineering degree. I have a CAD design degree. That's all I have. But again, that doesn't stop me from doing the same, if not better work than other of my colleagues, Do I believe it's important to go to college? Not necessarily. There's ways to, you know how many people out there in the world are millionaires and billionaires that did not go to college or university?
Oh, yeah. I could name a few of them. Yeah.
So don't force your kids to do something they don't want to do, If they want to go and learn, a trade, whether it be electrician or plumbing or whatever they want to learn, you can start your own plumbing business. You just got to know how to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Jose, we're running a little low on time here, so I'm gonna just kind of ask you two more quick questions. I need to kind of keep them about a minute. What are your goals in the next 6 months for your business?
In the next 6 months for a business, it's gonna be pretty much get it going, get it off the ground, get it moving, and start a second business.
All right. So what are you gonna do with the first one? Just gonna keep that one going and just kind of add on to it, or
it's you have to work on your business, not in your business. So you have to. We're working on the business right now, but it's gonna come to a point where we're gonna get someone else to do what we're doing, and we're gonna move on to better, bigger things.
All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold you to that. In 6 months, I'm gonna follow up with you. We're gonna be on the podcast again. and we're going to see how that turned out for you. See if you have any new experiences to talk to us about, and see if you've actually reached those goals. Is that okay?
Sounds good with me.
All right. So this is it. This is the end. So what I'm going to have you do is just go ahead and give your contact. This is your time to shine there, Jose.
Okay.
Go ahead and give your contact information if people know how to get a hold of you. Okay.
No problem. Well, if anybody wants to get a hold of me, they can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, whatever. Username is JLuna8823, and you should be able to contact me there. If not, I can go ahead and give out my personal email. That's no problem. And the same thing, JLuna8823 @gmail.com.
All right. Thank you, Jose. All right, everybody. Jose, thank you so much for coming to the show today. I really appreciate you, and we'll follow up with you in 6 months, okay?
Thank you very much, Jesse. You have a good one.
All right, Skoobelever's, thank you for another great show. Bye-bye now. All right, Skoobelevers, that was Jose Luna. Hey, I got to tell you, I know that I have only a couple episodes on the airwaves right now, but I got to tell you, even though these people that I'm talking to, these entrepreneurs, are brand spanking new that are less than a year in their business, it really seems that they still have a lot to offer as far as information and help and experience. So that's what I was kind of hoping for, because kind of like what I touched on earlier in the beginning of the podcast, it really seems that a lot of the other podcasts that are out there are really just kind of talking to entrepreneurs that are been in the business for a little while, and they do have a lot to offer. But I really think that even brand new entrepreneurs still have a lot to offer. Anyway, Jose Luna really touched on a lot of great things that I think really need to be discussed. First of all, he's really big into family. He knows that family is really, really important no matter what you're doing and where you go. So I'm really glad that he really kind of went in depth a little bit about family. Also, the failures that he had, he was actually pretty open with the experiences he had with failure and the other businesses he tried to start and didn't work out for him very well. So I'm really glad he was candid about that. And it sounds to me he's really interested in the freedom more than anything else. I know a lot of entrepreneurs out there are really more interested in helping and freedom than the money. And it sounds like that's kind of what Jose Luna was really kind of talking about there. I am in agreement with a lot of what Jose Luna actually said. Family is actually really important to me. Having that support from your family and having that family to keep you motivated and push you along really makes a big difference in a lot of aspects. And it doesn't necessarily have to be like your son or your wife or anything like that. It can be anybody in your family, uncles, aunts, grandma, grandpa, anything like that. Anybody to keep you motivated and encourage you to be your best. Also, I'm going to say this acronym one more time. FEAR, F-E-A-R, false evidence appearing real. I learned this when I was actually selling cars. A gentleman named Keith told me about this acronym, and that was actually quite a while ago. It's probably been it's been probably about 20 years or so since I actually heard that acronym for the first time, and it stuck with me. So if you ever find yourself scared to do something, that means two things. False evidence appearing real, and more than likely it means you should do it. If you fear it, there's a reason why. So if you're scared to do something, look into it a little bit deeper. Look into it in your heart and your gut, and maybe it's actually something you need to explore. In the comments, why don't you tell me how you actually overcame the fear that you have? Everybody has a fear that's stopping him or slowing him down. So tell me what your biggest fear is and how you actually overcame it. And if the story's good enough, I'll feature it in one of my shows, and we can all learn something from it. All right, at this point, I'd like to thank you for listening to my program all the way through here. If you have any questions, please contact me at uepodcast2021@gmail.com. If you'd like to see what else is going on, please visit my website at uepodcast.net. And if you like the show, please drop me a comment If you feel you can, please leave me 5 stars on iTunes or subscribe if you'd like to see what else I got going on. Tune in to my next show where we'll be talking to Becca George. She really was an amazing interview. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Hello there, DJ Skoob here. And I just want to personally say thank you for listening to my program. I really hope you learned something. Tune in 2 weeks to listen to another brand new entrepreneur. And remember, I can, I am, I will, and I'm doing it today. As a worker of 2 full-time jobs, running a podcast and coaching, every minute counts in my day-to-day. It's hard to be consistent in any of my social medias. And at this point, I cannot hire a social media manager. Pinnacle AI to the rescue! I've been using Pinnacle AI for a couple of weeks now and seen big improvements in my outreach and consistency in all my social medias. Do you want to save time and increase your productivity too? Go to tuepodcast.net/AI for more information. Save yourself time and grow your brand. Try it now and see what it can do for you.